Hey everyone, did you know that literally thousands of families in North Carolina actually qualify for free school meals but totally miss out? Usually it's just because they don't have the right info. Well, today's explainer is on a mission to completely demystify North Carolina's school meal application process so you can easily secure these awesome benefits for your household. It really boils down to an information gap, you know? A lot of families just assume, hey, we probably don't qualify, or maybe they take one look at the paperwork and feel totally overwhelmed. Consider this explainer your complete start-to-finish guide to bridging that gap so you can claim the resources your children are absolutely entitled to. And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates exactly why this matters so much. North Carolina Superintendent Mo Green hit the nail on the head. He points out that educational excellence doesn't just magically happen because of a rigorous classroom. Nutrition is a literal building block. If a child is hungry, their focus drops. When they have access to wholesome, appealing meals at school, their academic success quite literally improves. It's really that simple. So, here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, understanding the system. Then, who qualifies. Next, how to apply, followed by some application tips, extra resources, and finally, some evergreen advice. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Understanding the System. First off, I really want to normalize this. Millions of students across the country walk through cafeteria lines just like this every single day to grab a healthy breakfast or lunch. Fun fact, North Carolina actually has the 7th largest school nutrition program in the whole nation. There is absolutely zero stigma in utilizing a program designed specifically to support student health and well-being. So what's actually running all this? It's the National School Lunch Program, or the NSLP. It's a federally assisted program funded by the USDA, but here's the catch. At the state level, it's administered by the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, along with your local school district. Their shared goal is simple: make sure all students have access to low-cost or free meals every single school day. Now, how does your school actually decide who gets those meals? Well, it usually falls into one of two buckets. Some schools operate under what's called the Community Eligibility Provision, or CEP. Under CEP, if a school has a high percentage of low-income families, the entire school might receive free meals. No applications needed. But if your school isn't using CEP, you will need to submit a standard household application to see if you qualify. Moving right along to Section 2, who qualifies for free meals? Okay, let's look at the numbers. Eligibility mostly comes down to two things: how many people are in your household and your total gross income. The federal government sets these limits based on the poverty level. Usually, families making up to 130% of that level get free meals, and those up to 185% get reduced price meals. But, and this is a huge win for North Carolina families, thanks to state funding, students in that reduced price tier actually get their meals for absolutely zero cost. If your income falls under either limit, your kid eats for free. But wait, what if you don't want to deal with all those income tables? You might not have to. A lot of families actually skip the income check entirely through something called direct certification. Basically, if anyone in your household already gets benefits, like SNAP or cash assistance, your kids are automatically in. The same goes for foster children, kids identified as homeless or migrant, Head Start students, and in NC, even some households receiving Medicaid. All right, Section 3, how to apply step by step. This process is actually wonderfully simple. And remember, you only need to fill out one single application for your whole household. Step 1, get the form. You can grab a paper copy at the school office, but a lot of districts strongly prefer you apply online, like at lunchapplication.com, because it's way faster. Step 2, list every single person living under your roof. Step 3, report your total gross income. That's before taxes. And finally, Step 4, just sign it and submit it. Now for Section 4, application tips and scenarios. So, a super common question we see is, what if my income jumps around every month? If you typically make a certain amount, but maybe just missed a few shifts recently, report your typical expected income. However, if you just lost a job or had your hours permanently cut, report that new current income. And remember, you can apply at any time during the school year if your financial situation suddenly changes. Okay, please hear this loud and clear. You do not need to be a U.S. citizen to apply for this. Citizenship is totally not a requirement. Furthermore, if the adult filling out the form doesn't have a social security number, that is completely fine. There's literally a box on the form that says, I do not have a social security number. Just check it and move right along. For military families tuning in, yes, you do have to report basic pay and cash bonuses. But you don't have to report privatized military housing allowances or extra combat pay from a deployment. Oh, and here's a massive tip for everyone. If someone in your house has zero income, literally write the number 0. Don't just leave it blank. A blank box usually assumes 0, but actually writing it out prevents any annoying processing delays. Now, do you need to reapply if you got approved last year? Yes, you absolutely must reapply every single year. Those previous approvals, they only carry over for the first 30 operating days of the new school year. If you miss that deadline, your kid will suddenly get charged full price. Make it a standard back-to-school habit to fill this out. Let's move to Section 5, Extra Help and Resources. If you ever get stuck, your absolute best first stop is your local school nutrition office or just the front desk at your kid's school. They do this every day. For bigger, state-level questions, you can call the Care Line. That's 1-800-662-7030, or the NCDPI's Office of School Nutrition. Also, if English isn't your primary language, don't worry at all. Translated forms are super easy to find. Just ask your school. It's a really powerful reminder that these programs are meant for all students. Seriously, when you make sure your student is fed, you're basically advocating for the whole community. Think about it. A classroom full of well-fed kids means fewer disruptions, a better social-emotional vibe, and higher test scores across the board. It helps your kid, and it uplifts the entire school. And finally, Section 6, Final Advice and Key Takeaways. Now here's a really surprising bonus benefit you definitely need to know about. When you get approved for free or reduced price meals, do not throw away that approval letter. Keep it somewhere safe. Getting approved for the school lunch program actually automatically qualifies your family for summer grocery help, like Sunbucks, which is also known as summer EBT. That one single application feeds your child all school year and helps stock your fridge all summer. Just as a quick disclaimer here, things like federal income brackets, exact deadlines, and specific district policies do tend to shift from year to year. The core process stays the same, but definitely double-check with your local school district or official state websites for the most up-to-date numbers for the upcoming academic year. Well, we've covered a ton of ground in this explainer today, from income brackets to the actual paperwork. The tools are literally right in front of you now. So I want to leave you with one final super important question. Who can you share this explainer with today to help feed a student in need? Chances are you know a neighbor, a friend, or family member who could really use this exact info. Send this their way, encourage them to apply, and let's make absolutely sure no student has to go hungry while trying to learn. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.